Hi everyone, I'm Chris O'Neill from Sew the Distance. I'm so glad you're here. Today we're going to be making another very small project, and this is something you might have seen before, but I'm going to show you how I do it. I'm also going to talk about some issues that you might run into and how to avoid them later on in this video. But first I'm going to show you how to make it. It's these little corner bookmarks. There's so many different videos out there on making these, so many different ways, different sizes, everything. I'm going to show you how I do it, and maybe it'll inspire you too. So these just fit right inside the book on the pages. You put them on this side, if I can get it on there, like that, so you know exactly where you left off. They're just a lot of fun to make, and yeah, let's get into it. So for this one, I'm going to be using 2 of the same fabrics for the backgrounds, and then this is going to be my focal print. You can see here, so I have the pink on the back and the front, and then this is the focal print. So we need 3 pieces that are 4 inches by 4 inches each, and then some interfacing. And this is the Pellon, I think it's 911FF that I'm using here. And you need a 4-inch square and a 3.5-inch square. So the first step is to cut this one in half on the diagonal. So I'm cutting the 3.5-inch square in half. And I'm just going to lay this on my mat. And then I'm going to take a ruler and I'm going to use, you can see here the lines on this to line everything up straight. Definitely use all these angles on your rulers. They're really great. So I'm going to cut this right in half like this. And I'm going to put one aside for another bookmark. So let's adhere the interfacing. I'm going to turn one of the background fabrics over like this and take my interfacing with the bumpy side down. Line that up. Now I'm going to flip it over and adhere it this way. Just to protect my iron, I like to use a piece of parchment paper. And just make sure you check the manufacturer's instructions on your interfacing. Okay, so that's all adhere. I'm going to set that aside. Next, I'm going to take the focal piece, so this corner, and I'm going to fold it in half on the diagonal. Fold this with the wrong sides together so the pretty side is out, and press it. Next, we take this triangle that we made and we place it in here, and I'm going to leave the 1/4 inch, there should be a 1/4 inch around the edges, and just kind of try to line that up. Fold that back in and then press. So now our pieces are ready. This is so simple and fun. The next step is we're going to take the piece with the interfacing on it, the 4-inch square. We're going to line this up in the corner. Now you can do a couple things here. You can baste it or you can pin it if you want to, but whatever you do, you want to make sure that it stays put. So I'm just going to run a basting stitch around this like we did for the coasters that we made. I'll be right back. And then I'm just going to set my seam just to get it nice and flat again. Next, we're going to take that second square that does not have interfacing on it and place it right sides together. And we're going to sew around this edge, leaving an opening. Now you want to make sure your opening isn't here or here. You want to leave it on one of the other edges, which is one of the pitfalls that you could fall into. And I have an example of what happens when you do leave that open. I'll show you in a few minutes. And then I'm just going to leave an opening big enough to turn, like, I don't know, something like that. So I'm going to start stitching. I'll use my handy dandy seam ripper. Start stitching here, back stitch, go all the way around a 1/4 inch until I hit this spot and back stitch again. I'm going to put some clips in it just to hold everything together and steady and wonderful. You could also use pins. So I'm going to go ahead and stitch this and I'll meet you back here. Okay, give that a good press. Next, we're going to trim up those edges, and you might want to turn this right side out first before you do that, but we're going to live wild and free and not do that right now. So I'm going to trim up those corners, especially. I like to go in at an angle. Now when you're trimming them, make sure you don't cut into the seam. That would be bad. Okay, next we're going to turn this right side out, and we're going to reach in here between the layers and flip it. Once it's flipped around, you can just use a chopstick to push out those points or something. Just try not to go all the way through and try to get them as pointy as possible. Fold it in that opening again. Should fold right in, which it does. And we're going to give it a good press, making it nice and flat. And I'm pushing out, I know this was a question on one of the other videos, I'm pushing out that edge to make sure it's nice, and on the seam is right on that edge. Now for this, you can hand stitch this closed if you want to, but when we top stitch it, it'll catch it. You don't have to top stitch it, however, you can just hand stitch that closed. Look how cute it is. It's perfect. Make sure you clip all your threads, make sure that opening is nice and turned in, and then you can top stitch it around the outside just like we did the coasters, so you can see that here. Isn't it cute? Works so well. All right, let's talk about the pitfalls that you could run into when making this. And I have examples. I made some samples. All right, I'm gonna move all this stuff and meet you back here. Okay, since it's on our minds, or my mind at least, I wanted to show what happens if you leave the opening on the side that is where you have your corner folded piece. And you can see that here. You can do this. It's just going to be a little wonky wonk to fold that in and to top stitch it. Things could get a little crazy. So I like leaving it open over here or over here because for me it's a little bit easier to turn it in and to make sure it's top stitched well, and then you don't have any of the gapping over on the other side. So that's the first one. The second one, this is an interesting one. This is the first one I made when getting ready to make this project, and I haven't top stitched it obviously yet. So I realized pretty quickly that if I wanted to use this, the cherries were going to be sideways. So not that it really matters, but yeah. Pay attention to the directional fabric. The next one is there's no interfacing in this, and you can see how flopsy this is. This will work, of course, but it's a little bit, I don't know, it's harder to get it onto the page. Again, it will work, but it's not, it's very flimsy. So I do like to use some sort of interfacing, but not too much, because if you have too much, which I think it's this one I put interfacing on everything, even doubling it up on the triangle here, and it's very stiff. It's going to be almost too thick for the book, so it doesn't want to lay nice, and it's very thick. The last one is talking about the fabrics you choose. Now, not only do you have to worry about not worry, but you know what I mean, look at the direction of the fabrics, you also have to pay attention to the prints. This is from a charm pack, so you don't really get a lot of choices with if you're going to fussy cut or not, but you can see how when I fold this, this would work out well, this would not. You could fold it this way, like that, but then they'd be upside down. So just pay attention to that. So when you're putting it together, make sure you audition this and make sure that whatever you want to be highlighted is highlighted. So this one probably wouldn't work out too well for a corner. And I didn't even cut this one down, but that's okay. This is part of a charm pack. Any way you look at it, it's just too big of a print for it to work. Pay attention to that too. That can be a downfall. This is, for me, has just been the most successful way of doing this. And then, oh, Christmas one. I had to make a Christmas one because, you know, I had to. And I love how this turned out. Again, I haven't top stitched it yet, but wouldn't this be great with a Christmas themed book as a gift? I love this. I think it would be a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you had a good time playing with some fabric with me, and I hope you make some of these because they're so much fun and so easy, and you can whip them up in a few minutes, really. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you take some time to sew, and I'll see you tomorrow.